Hi, I'm Sharon Brennan, Cottage Lane Stamper. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I wanted to show you a technique that I used with one of the new stamp sets from our 2020 mini catalog, which debuts January 3rd of 2020. And I can't show you the inside yet, but because it hasn't gone live. But it's one of the stamp sets or suites that are in the catalog, and it's on page, let's see, 38 and 39. So, and this is also starts the celebration period of our season from January 3rd to March 31st, where you can order a free product. For every $50 you spend, you get to choose one free product from this catalog. So likewise, I cannot show you the inside of that, but anyway, this is one of the stamp sets that I'm going to demonstrate today. It's called Timeless Tropical, and it's bundled with the die set, which is called In the Tropics, and it's part of the Tropical Oasis suite, which also has some beautiful DSPs. So I won't go through all these. I went through these the other day in another video, but it does have some gorgeous DSPs. The card I'm going to show you today is the Emboss Resist Technique, and I'm using 2 of the stamps from the stamp set, 2 of the flowers, and the leaf from the stamp set. And I'm going to try it in some little different colors today. Now, if you want the directions for this, if you go to, let's see, hang on a second here, my Facebook page, which is called Cottage Lane Stamper and Friends, and go to Files, and if you select Instruction Sheet, you can see that, Timeless Tropical, I spelled timeless wrong, and you can download it, or you can open it and read it, but I like to download things and print them out. And I'm going to show you that PDF just a second. I'm going to grab it out of the printer. So for all of my card classes, I will print out or create a PDF as a picture of the card, and then it lists all the supplies that we use and the dimensions, and then it has step-by-step instructions. So I'll go with that, through that with you today. Oh, I wanted to show you one other thing with the die set. It's got some really pretty dies. One of the ones that we're going to use today is the large hibiscus. So we're going to stamp that, or die cut that. It also has some palm trees, and this pineapple. I thought this pineapple was really unique. There's the pineapple, the fruit itself, and then it has this leaf, and they kind of just pop up, which gives it a nice 3D dimension to your card. So I'm going to use that on another card later, but I just wanted to show that to you. And it also says Aloha, and some pretty small flowers, and a small pineapple. I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, that pineapple is a sign of hospitality in Hawaii. So if that's right, let me know. If it's not, correct me, please. I don't like to give out misinformation. Anyway, let's get started on this. We're going to use a piece of Whisper White, oh, wrong one, Whisper White cardstock. This is 4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to do some Emboss Resist, which is you take your Versamark, and we're just going to stamp this up and put some flowers on here randomly. I'm not very good at random. I'm going to put a couple leaves maybe here, and it's hard to see the Versamark on the white, so what I kind of do is, if you can see that, I like to get it at an angle. Look at it from an angle while it's on my desk, and then I can kind of see where I've stamped. Let's see here, maybe down here. Should have something in the middle there. So if it overlaps, that's fine. And then we're going to take another piece of cardstock and we are going to stamp a large hibiscus. And actually, when I cut my paper to 4 1/4, this is the other half of that. And then a couple of flowers. No, I'm sorry about that. A couple leaves. I'll use that for something else. So, I'm going to set that aside. Now, Versamark, that Versamark is embossing. It's used for embossing. It's also called a watermark. You can use it for watermark. And I forgot to use my embossing buddy. What you normally do when you don't forget like me is rub this over your cardstock so the embossing powder, which I'm going to use now, doesn't stick to places it shouldn't. So, and we're just going to sprinkle this. I have a little tray. Some people use coffee filters to catch the extra powder. And hope this hasn't dried too much. You want to kind of do this quickly so that your ink stays sticky. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm going to get my heat tool. Okay, what I like to do is use a clothespin to hold on to my cardstock so I don't burn my fingers. So just put it in a place that's not being embossed. And then what I like to do too is to preheat my heat tool just for a couple seconds, just to get it nice and hot before I start. Sorry for the noise. And then you can start down, if you can see this, and it starts to melt. You can see it or not. If you hold it at an angle, it's easier to see when the embossing powder has melted. Oops. You can see it melting. There we go. And it shouldn't take any longer than that. If you hold the heat tool too close, you'll burn your paper, or if you hold it in one place too long, it will also burn. So we have that, and then we're going to do our Emboss Resist. So what I do now, I use my little sponges. They come in a pack of 3, like this. And what you want to do, you don't need this whole sponge for one color. So I just take my scissors and I cut it in half. And then I cut each one of those halves in thirds. So, and then use one of these wedges for a separate color. I'll put this back in the bag so they're running all over the place. Then what I do is, okay, this is a new one for my poppy, nope, it's for, hang on a second. We're going to use Mango Melody today instead of the pineapple punch color. So what I do is I take this and I take a piece of the same color cardstock and a label punch. I happen to use a pretty label punch for mine. And punch out a piece of paper the same color. And then I fold that in half. I like to use my bone folder to get a nice crisp edge on there. I just take a pencil and I write the name of it on there. So this is Mango Melody. And I like to do it on both sides because when you have a class, it's easy to see for the people that are there. I take my stapler and my sponge and I just put it up on the peak here. Get it straight as I can. And just staple that. So that when you have all your pieces, I like to, I keep them in this old tackle box. So then when you have them all stored, you know exactly which color goes with which. So we're going to start with the Mango Melody on the bottom here. Oops. Open this up. And you can decide whichever one is going to be the top or the bottom. And just start doing a little swirling pattern. Go off the edge a little bit. And you can go up. I'm going to use 3 colors, so I'm going to do it like the third of the card in this color. I kind of wanted to see what it would do with a warmer color as opposed to the, oops, let's show you here, the Pineapple Punch. It's a little more summery, lighter color. Then we are going to use Poppy Parade. And set that one aside. So I've got my Poppy Parade sponge. And ink it up. And kind of blend one right over the other. My inspiration for this card was a surfboard that I saw on Pinterest. I thought, oh, that's cool. I wonder how that would work with Timeless Tropical. And I actually do really like this card. And then we're going to use Melon Mambo. Let's see. Melon Mambo. Switch this around a little bit. I'm going to do the top part. And let's set that aside. I have to go back to my Poppy Parade because I'm going to do this larger flower in Poppy Parade. Because I'm using for the background, background layer, I'm going to use Poppy Parade instead of the Melon Mambo like I did in the first card. So then I'm going to use Granny Apple Green for the leaves. I really do like this card. I'm loving those colors together. And I'm going to do the leaves here. I like that. It's pretty. And then what you're going to want to do is just take like a tissue and go over the top. And I'm going to start from the lightest color to the dark. And this will take off any excess ink, and it'll also make your white embossing powder pop a little bit more. So that's coming off there a little bit. And we're going to do this one. Find a clean spot here. I also wanted to show you another tip while I'm thinking of it. Where's my stamp set? Oh, here it is. Okay. This is one of the, we've had a set a few years ago. I can't remember what it's called. I still got it. It was a flower set anyway, and it was hard to figure out actually where they went in the stamp set. So I have marked them. You can see that. I marked where it came out, where it goes in. And also on the, so I did that for both of my flowers. So I know which, and now that I've taken it off, I don't remember which is. So here's the top, or what I'm calling the top. And then I also did it for my die, because it took me a while to figure out where this die went. So it goes like this, actually, like this, I think. Oh, if I marked it right. I lost it. Okay, here. So when I die cut it, this mark matches this mark, and I know that when I stamped it, that I can just lay this on top and it will, let's see, which way did I stamp it? It'll match when I die cut it. So it adds for less confusion rather than sitting there and turning it around. The leaves are easy, but the flower is a little difficult. So I don't know if you want to do that with your die cuts or not, but it makes my life less stressful. So I'm going to go die cut these out, and I will be right back. Okay, so I am back, and I've die cut my little leaves and my flower, and now we're going to put this together. Now I've got a piece of Poppy Parade cardstock, which is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, I believe. The correct dimensions are on my Facebook page in that instruction sheet. So we're gonna, got ink all over my hands. I don't know, can you stamp without inking up everything? Let's see. Now, I want to go this way for a little. Nope, I'm going to actually go this way because this is a little bit more, gives a little bit of contrast. So, and what I want to do is, you can take your bone folder in your, not your bone folder, if I can find it here. Kind of curlies a little bit. Maybe the stylus is not going to work too well for these. I think it works better for smaller pieces. And I'm just going to curl the edges of these a little bit. Kind of give it a little bit of dimension, make it pop out a little bit more. And then the same with my leaves. I curl those. And put that back. I want to get this out of here. Don't need that. So then I'm going to take a dimensional. You can put a couple of these on the back. I don't want them too close to the edge. Oops, I forgot one thing. Because then your leaves will go flat again. We're going to use the ribbon that I used on this card is actually from another suite in the new catalog. And it is called, get this right, Crinkled Seam Binding Ribbon. And it's from the Peaceful Poppies suite. And I took like about, I don't know, 10, 12 inches. And what's nice about this ribbon is that you can actually color it to whatever color that you want. All you have to do is just, here's a piece of it that I did, to run it across your ink pad, and it'll color it. And you know what? I think I might do that. I'll just show you how that is. So we're going to take a piece And I'm gonna hold it like this and run it right across. Of course, your fingers are gonna get dirty, but mine are always dirty anyway. And then we'll do the other end. And you could also color it with your Stampin' Blends. So, put that away. I've got ink on my finger. And I'm just going to run it through this tissue again just to make sure that if there's any excess ink on there, it doesn't get all over the hands of the person that you're giving the card to. So it does take some of it off. So I'll do that one more time. Now with your Stampin' Blends, those are alcohol markers and they'll dry immediately. So, and I'm just going to tie this in a bow on one end if I can. I have a little trouble with my hands, so bear with me. There. Let's make this a little smaller. There, and then we're going to take this and we're going to wrap it around the back of our card. So the easiest way I found to do this is just take some snail, run a little strip along the edges, and then I'm going to take and press that down. Look how perfectly that matches. And I'm going to do the same here. Cut this off. Excess. There. I'm going to clean my hands here for a second. Let's see. I can find I use my chamois, Simply Chamois. It's nice purple color when you buy it, but after you've used it a few times, it gets a little dirty. But even though it looks like there's ink on there, it doesn't get off on my hands. So, but it's really great for keeping your hands cleaner, cleaning up your stamp pads when you get ink on them. And I just keep it in a little plastic bag so it's handy and doesn't dry out too fast. So anyway, we're going to get back to this card. And I'm going to put this right here. And then I'm going to take some glue dots. Let's see. Put my little basket here. I'll put a glue dot on here. And I'm going to tuck it under there. Let's see, maybe not there. I don't want to cover the bow up. There. And another one. Can do that like that. Then I have a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, scored at 4 1/4. Use my bone folder to give it a nice crisp edge, or as they say in England, to burnish it. And then put some more snail on top of this. And you're not sticky. There you go. And put that right on there. There. It's done. It's pretty fast. So there are the two cards. Get that out of the way there. And I'd like to know which one you like better. Card A that we did in class. I'll do it this way. A that we did in class, or B that we just did here today. Oh, and I'm going to get my little sequins and put a sequin in the middle of that. And you can use whatever you want for your embellishment. Basic jewels. And put one right in the middle there. There. And that is that. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I'd like to hear from you. If you've made this card. Well, you haven't made a card yet because you can't get it yet, sorry. But when you are able to order it after January 3rd, the catalog will go live and you can order this suite. And it also comes with a 3D embossing folder, which is called Coastal Weave. and it looks like a grass mat. So let me see. I actually did. I started another card with it, but it gives this beautiful matte weave look to it, like an outdoor mat. So it comes with that and some ribbon. Let me. It's burlap trim. That's what it is, and 5/16 inch burlap trim. So, and it's really nice because you can stretch it out. But I didn't order that. I ordered this instead. So actually, I like this with this card. So, thank you for stopping in. Love to hear from you. If for any of the new supplies that go live on January 3rd, which is next week, you can order from my store, SharonBrennan.StampinUp.net, and all my cards that we do in class, as well as any promotions that are going on. Join my Facebook group. It's called Cottage Lane Stamper and Friends, or my blog. You can subscribe to that, and get updates. And then if you have something that you want to share with me, cottageLaneStamper@gmail.com. So I think that about covers it. Oh, and I also post on Instagram, so, and Twitter. Is that it? I think so. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, I hope you give me a thumbs up, even if it's in a Poppy Parade one. And thanks for stopping in. And may you have a Happy New Year, and may God bless you. Thanks. Bye.